Hey guys! Today we are going to be analyzing the Miraculous World London at the Edge of Time special and discussing everything from Lila discovering Ladybug's identity, what really happened to her at the end of the season 5 finale, Adrien's reaction to his father's death, our first look at a finished scene in the new animation, and so much more. But before we get into today's video, be sure to subscribe so you never miss the tea on the show you love, and check out my Discord server linked in the description as we currently have staff applications open until the 15th. The London special takes place immediately after the season 5 finale, and it opens in Lila's lair, where we can see her table full of stuff such as 3 boxes holding watches, an outline of the Agrest mansion, a countdown device, Nuru caged, and the butterfly Miraculous. When Timestalker suddenly appears in the lair, Nuru begs for them to rethink their decision, because this is no other than Lila, aka Cerise, and as soon as she opens her journal and realizes who she wrote the name of for the identity of Ladybug, she gets right back into action and transforms into another new villain known as Spectral Looter. One of my favorite parts about specials are always the intros, and for this special we get to see Gimme, the wish being made, the building that Adrien and Kagami were kept in, and it's slowly forming into the Gabriel statue that I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of in season 6. And a small detail that I loved about this part is that just before everything fully dissolves into the statue, for a split second we can see Miss Tsurugi's brand logo, and you guys already know I cannot wait to see her in season 6, and especially the Tokyo special, which we'll talk more about later on in this video. So as we see Mini Bunnyx playing with her older self, this special introduces to us Granny Bunnyx, which is what Bunnyx will look like at age 70, and it actually confirms that Mini Bunnyx is 15, her older self is 25, and of course her granny self is 70. Can we just talk about her outfit, because she looks so cool. Unfortunately though, their game would be interrupted due to the end of time, and it's always cool to see how the older Bunnyxes know what's going to happen. So now it would be up to Mini Bunnyx to figure out where things went wrong, and this is when we get a little recap of everything that's gone down from season 1 to 5, and this is when Bunnyx sees that yet another wish is going to be made, and she has to fix this. Throughout this special, there's a lot of going back and forth in time, but right now we are back into the past after the wish is made, and we can see Bug Noir making her way to London in order to free Kagami and Adrien from their rooms. Anyone else think of Hawkins' lab when they saw this? Let me know if you're a Stranger Things fan too. Bug Noir, emotionless, makes her way over to Kagami's room first, and what's crazy about this whole scene is that not only does Kagami know who Ladybug is, but she knows the truth. She knows that what's being said on the news isn't the full story, and that Gabriel is being made to look like a hero. Despite her disagreeing with Bug Noir's decision to keep the truth from Adrien, she does respect it, and it's going to be really interesting seeing how season 6 goes, because not only will Kagami be keeping the secret, but Natalie, Plague, Marinette, and probably Felix. During this scene, Bug Noir does reveal to Kagami that her mother was Monarch's partner in all of this, and I'm really surprised that she was lit off so easily. We do know that Kagami is going to try and have a conversation with her mom, but what I'm really anticipating to see happen next season is Ladybug attempt to have a conversation with Miss Tsurugi, but possibly her blackmailing Ladybug by saying that she knows the actual story, and that if she tries to get in Miss Tsurugi's way, that she will threaten to tell the real story. We then see the moment that Bug Noir reveals the half-truth to Adrien, and this scene gives me chills every time. Just by Bug Noir's silence, Adrien knows that something terrible happened to his father, and as much as this scene hurts, I am so glad that we're seeing him be angry, be sad and frustrated with not just Bug Noir, but even himself, because he wasn't able to be there. Also, can we just talk about how good the music was throughout this special? Like, chills! After Bug Noir makes her way back to Paris, the first person that she goes to is Natalie, and I cannot express how excited I am to see this new relationship between the two of them, because Natalie is the only person that Bug Noir can seek comfort in, the only person she can be honest with and go to for advice. Plus, we even see later on that she does end up lying to Alia, her best friend and the first person that she ever told her identity to. So I'm honestly really surprised that she didn't tell her the truth, and how this will affect her mentally going into the future seasons. So as Bug Noir would go on to destroy all of the evidence that Gabriel was Monarch, we'd hear the story that the world would be told about what went down the day that Monarch was defeated. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, if the truth ever gets out, the entire entire world is going to turn against Ladybug, including possibly Adrien. I did a whole video discussing my theory on this and how I think it could go down, so if you're interested in watching it, I'll have it linked below. This special really makes me empathize more with Ladybug's decision. I am somebody who was not very impressed with the season 5 finale, but this special has definitely helped me to better understand her decision and overall perspective on the situation. But it was nice to see other characters' opinions too, because at one point we do see that Natalie suggests she tells the truth, but Bug Noir's response is that Adrien needs a mother figure. If the truth gets out, Natalie is going to go to jail, and Adrien needs a mother figure in his life. And on top of that, throughout the entire special, we also see Marinette looking for reassurance from everyone around her, like Bunnyx and the Kwamis in this following scene. When she asks Tiki and Plag whether what she did was the right decision, the two of them tell her that none of them can answer truthfully because neither of them are the Kwami of truth. And this got me wondering if the Kwami of truth actually exist in the Miraculous verse, and if so, if this could potentially be how Adrien comes to learn the real full story about what happened to his father and how Monarch's defeat went down. Finally, we get to see Adrien and Kagami return back to Paris, and this whole scene was just heartbreaking. Something I'm gonna miss so much about this original animation and SAMG being a part of Miraculous is the incredible job they do when it comes to expressing emotions. I was pretty surprised to see Miss Tsurugi standing here just for a split second, but also this Adrienette hug. I feel so bad for Marinette because you can just imagine how guilty she feels, and how in a way the only side of herself that she can truly feel comfortable around Adrien as is Marinette, even if he forgave her as Ladybug. Later that night, we see Marinette journaling and documenting everything that went down, and as she finally manages to go to sleep, she wakes up to the wish being made. Again, the music is just so good here, it gives me chills. And just in time, Bunnyx manages to pull Marinette into the barrow, which we can see is gradually disappearing with all of the black holes. And you guys, I am so happy that this special included Bunnyx as much as it did, because not only did we hardly get to see her in season 5, but with the way this special ended, it seems like we'll be seeing less of her in season 6 too, since she'll have to continue protecting her Miraculous and time itself. We end up seeing Marinette wearing this yellow vest in order for them to tell which is the present, past, and future Marinette, and together they go back into a time where Marinette didn't have her Miraculous for just a moment, and that is no other than the Origins episode. When Marinette gets her Miraculous from the past, she goes on to say that it felt like that was 10 years ago, and we already know that the writers purposely put that in because it has actually been 10 years since Miraculous came out, but only a little over a year in the actual Miraculous timeline. Going into this special, I honestly thought that I wasn't going to really like Chrono Bug's look, but I think the vest partially had to do with the bright yellow color that we see. And also, I love that they named her Chrono Bug because I am currently reading Percy Jackson. I'm on the 4th book, and the character Kronos plays a huge role in the story. And if you didn't know, Kronos is the Greek god of time, so I'm glad that they went with a more creative name and not just like Lady Travel, Lady Time, Lady Barrow, you know? As Bunnyx and Chrono Bug go back in time to try and figure out where things went wrong, they end up spotting Spectral Looter in Marinette's bedroom the night she was asleep before her Miraculous were taken. And can we just talk about how smart Lyla is? This is the first time that we're getting to see her use the Butterfly Miraculous, and already she thinks of everything that her akumatization will need, from being quiet, being able to go through things, making it so that Chrono Bug cannot grab her, all while giving her the ability to hold whatever it is she desires, and then go back into a ghost-like form. This whole fight between Chrono Bug and Spectral Looter was so funny to me, because here we have Chrono Bug struggling, and then as Spectral Looter is leaving, she just does a little bye-bye. And going back to Chrono Bug's suit, these scenes in the dark made me love it so much more because I love that it can glow. So despite Spectral Looter getting away, figuring out Ladybug's identity, and making the wish, this first attempt wouldn't be for nothing, as Chrono Bug managed to figure out that this was an akumatization, and thanks to her lucky charm, which was a calendar, there had to be a way for them to figure out a time where they could prevent this person from figuring out Ladybug's identity in the first place. So going back in time to Bug Noir's final fight against Monarch, Chrono Bug manages to spot Time Stalker, and I just can't get over how creepy this scene is to me.
Hello there.
Lyla already scares me, but like the crawling here just makes it even creepier. At one point, Time Stalker does actually make an attempt to grab all of the other Miraculouses, including the twin rings, but Marinette ends up turning around fast enough. And during this scene, Tiki and Plag revealed to Marinette that Gabriel had given up his life for Natalie's, which is when we see her reappear in the lair. We love Natalie. I literally want to cry when Natalie tells Bug Noir, "I'm not like him, Marinette." And then when Bug Noir tells Natalie that she would have sacrificed herself, can we get her a therapist, please? And not Luca this time. At this point, Chronobug has managed to put the pieces together that Spectral Looter and Time Stalker are the same person, thanks to their journal giving them away. If they were just any akumatized person, they would only need to tell Hawkmoth what they saw. But because they were writing everything down, it showed that they were working alone. They knew that once they detransformed, they would have forgotten everything they had seen. And with all of this knowledge combined, Chronobug managed to figure out that this person is also the new holder of the Butterfly Miraculous. Continuing where Natalie and Bug Noir left off, we see Bug Noir concerned about where the Kwamis are, and this is when Natalie takes her to their cages. And it's here that Bug Noir reveals to Natalie that she had intentions on revealing the truth to Adrien about everything, including her identity, but due to how things turned out, she won't be telling him anything until she retrieves the Butterfly Miraculous. I already suspected that we probably weren't going to get the reveal anytime soon, but at this point I think it's even less likely that we'll see it in season 6 or season 7. The great thing about time travel is all of the different angles and perspectives you can get. So during this moment, it is revealed that Time Stalker is hiding behind the table, and you guys, I cannot help but laugh watching the both of them struggling, fighting each other, because it's so cool to finally have a villain that is clever, if not just as clever as Ladybug. And again, considering that this is the first time we're seeing Lyla use the Butterfly Miraculous, she is already so good, and it just makes me so excited for how challenging next season may be. After Chronobug and Bunnyx replay the moment when Bug Noir enters the building that Adrien and Kagami are in, this is when it hits her that Time Stalker was already here, waiting for her. And she knows this because when she entered the building, the lights were already on. But after rewatching this moment, she realizes that somebody had turned them off. Time Stalker had been waiting in a room until Bug Noir had passed her so that they could creep up behind her and take notes behind this wall, but that's when we see Chronobug come into play. And again, the music is so good in this special, and all of the fighting choreography here was so cool. Chronobug's second lucky charm in this special was hand sanitizer, and this would be used to rewrite the name that Time Stalker had put in the journal. And you gotta love that Ladybug really said Ladybug equals Gabriel Agrest. At this point, all Bunnyx and Chronobug could do was wait and hope that the barrel would return to its original state. Meanwhile, back in Lila's lair, she realizes that her journal had written Ladybug equals Gabriel Agrest, and that at some point in time her plan went wrong. For the first time, we actually see Lyla lose it. She is furious, and with a snap of her fingers, manages to paralyze Nuru. I don't think we even ever saw Gabriel do that to Nuru. And if we take a closer look at Lila's lair and the writing on her walls, we've already seen names in the past like Cat Noir and Ladybug, and we do see them again in this special. But another name that's been pointed out is this possibly being Sabine's name? Please leave her mother alone. Also, if I didn't already mention it, Lyla makes every one of her outfits look good. Like, I love this purple contact look with the blonde hair. Yes, and I'm really intrigued to see what look she'll be wearing when it comes to season 6, because we do know that she's gonna be attending the same school as Marinette, so hopefully she really does look like a totally different person. So just before leaving the barrow, after everything finally goes back to normal, we do see Chronobug ask Bunnyx if what she did was right to hide the truth from Adrien, to which the three of them respond to by saying that lying to him or telling the truth would have had two very different consequences, and that it will result in both happy and sad moments. What's important about the choices you make is how you own up to them, and I do feel like eventually we will get to explore the other side of the choice and get an episode where even if things do return back to normal, it'll kind of be like an ephemeral situation. We'll see what would happen if Adrien learned the truth that very day, or just the truth any other day, and show us why it was better for Marinette to go about the situation the way she did. I really love how the Origins episode was incorporated throughout this special, special, because it almost felt like a farewell to SAMG and the original animation as a whole. And the transition at the end of this special into the new animation for season 6 was so cool to see. And it just goes to show that not everything we see is even close to the final product. After Marinette fixes the Miraculous and reveals that all of the Kwamis will be going off with their holders, in the following scene we see this moment between Lady Noir, and if you guys didn't already know, Lady Noir is my favorite out of the Love Square. So I was so happy to see this scene. Even if they weren't able to really express either sides of their stories to each other, I'm just relieved to know that they're still going to be the partners they've always been going into season 6. But what I really wanted to point out about this scene is how in the trailer we got for this special, the scene originally looked like this. The whole mood was totally different, which again goes to prove that we hardly get to see the final product until it's actually time to watch the episode or the special. The special ends with Lyla putting on the Butterfly Miraculous, more determined than ever, and says that we'll see who finds out who first. So now, entering this new arc, Lyla will no longer know who Ladybug was. However, she does still know the truth about who Monarch was, which still leaves the opportunity for her to expose the truth to Adrien there. Now, a big question many fans had was what happened to Lyla at the end of the season 5 finale? All of us were anticipating to find out the truth in the special, but when asked about this on Twitter, Thomas did go to say that eventually we would find out. So for now, we're still left on a cliffhanger there, but you guys know that I personally think it has to do with the Supreme. But as always, what did you guys think of this special? I cannot wait for the next special already, which is going to be taking place in Tokyo. And as always, be sure to let me know your thoughts and theories down below, and subscribe so you never miss the tea on the show you love. And an extra special thanks to my Celestial Guardian channel members, Libby, Amandine, Fa, and Simply Noah, and I'll see you all in the next one.